Hello everyone and welcome to the latest episode of the Wanderers Way podcast, the official Bolton Wanderers podcast in association with iHeat. We've got another superb guest on the way. I'm myself, Derek Clark, joined by Super John McGinlay. As ever, how goes it, John?
I'm wonderful today, thank you, Derek.
Yep.
And looking forward to speaking to my wee pal. One of my favourites.
Yep, absolutely. Before we get to our special guest, of course, last week's interview with Nicky Hunt went down tremendously well, and you will have seen on social media we are giving away this fantastic picture of Nicky in his Bolton playing days, signed of course as well. We're giving away that on Twitter, and a big congratulations to Tom Pete who has won that. Tom, we've got your details, so we'll DM you, buddy, we'll get your address and we'll send that brilliant picture of Nicky off to your house. Right, let's crack on then. Without much further ado, I'm delighted to say we're joined this week by former Bolton Wanderers star and John's former teammate Michael Johansen. How's it going, Michael?
Going quite well, I think, and now I'm even better coming to the podcast with Bolton Wanderers. How much can you ask for, really?
Exactly. You pleased at getting Michael on, John?
Very pleased, Derek. Yes, I mean he was a great player for us. Obviously, little Michael, bubbly character, great in the dressing room. The Smurf, a legend.
How's things at the moment, Michael? Are you back in Denmark at the moment?
Yes, I'm back in Denmark. I've just been to transfer room, so I'm a football agent. Been that for 22 years after I finished the career with football. So it's just been a big event at Lisbon. So I was just there, and I heard from John also that Bolton also have some guys going there to see if they could find some good players.
It's a huge event, isn't it, that transfer room? It's a chance for guys like yourself to meet and have discussions with the clubs and that sort of thing, fellow agents, and look at maybe constructing a few deals.
Yeah, that's actually what it's about. You know, you're it's like speed dating. You have like 15 minutes with the clubs you link with on the homepage to see if you have anything for them, and they can also ask a meeting the other way around. So yeah, there's a lot of meeting, and then you have like 15 minutes to lie about how good your players are, and they can sell how much money they have. So it's quite funny, but it's quite good. And I met up with the former teammates of me and John called Scott Sellers, who was also a very, very good player and a very nice guy. He's now working in a club in Abu Dhabi. So yeah, you meet up with a lot of old friends. And I also met Bruce Riak's son, Greg Riak, there. So for me, it was quite good. I met up with a lot of people I hadn't seen for years, so it was good.
Enjoying it and keep you busy, the agent side of things?
Yeah, of course, it always does. Now the small winter window is coming, so for an agent, it's quite hectical to do, like after the Christmas, then you only have 1 month to do all the things. So that's going to be a hectic time, but it's always good when the transfer window is coming. It's like there we do the deals and make our money.
Yeah, absolutely.
And do you have a few players on your books, Michael? Any well-known players?
Yeah, we have a few well-known players. We don't have that many in the UK anymore. I think the standard for our players in Denmark, of course, we have some players playing in the Premier League, but they're going with big agencies, mainly English. Actually, they're very, very aggressive on the market also for the Danish players. So like Stella Group and Bayes and so on, they are very aggressive also. So they are normally getting these kind of players.
Interesting. Now, looking back on your career, Michael, a fascinating time in the game. When you're growing up in Denmark, was the dream always to play football professionally?
When I was sorry?
When you were a young boy growing up in Denmark, were you always dreaming of being a professional footballer?
Yeah. I have a twin brother actually, who's also very known in Bolton. He always came around. He had a short spell at Coventry, and we played together in a club since we were 4 years old. So it was always like, a dream to be a professional football player. And these days, long time ago, I actually started when I was 17 to play in the first team in the best league in Denmark. So I've been very lucky and possibly also a little bit talent to reach them kind of goals. So I think I had a good career, and that was always what I wanted to be.
Who was the better player, you or your brother?
Definitely me, but I don't think he will hear this podcast. So no, he was also a decent player, but he was struggling a little bit. He came to Coventry when they were very good at that time, and he was struggling to get games. It was a little bit easier for me to play in a Bolton team to get in and be a regular. Oh, sorry, John. No, it was good times. I think we were quite similar, so I wouldn't say if I was better. I possibly think I earned a lot more money than he did, but I think he was also a very good player.
Did you play against him at any time?
One time, and actually got beat. When I came back from Bolton, I signed with AB Copenhagen, and he played for Limby, and we played for the first spot in Denmark. In that game, we played each other, and we got beat 1-0, so he had that one on me. That's the only time we played against each other, and we got beat 1-0.
Not a bad way to finish then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You never got your own back.
No, it was like, but I was in a team at that time. You can't play for the whole team, can you?
Who was your favourite team growing up? What team did you support?
I don't know what I supported. When I was younger, I think I mainly in the television saw Liverpool and Man United.
Yeah.
When I was younger. But I'm not that kind of, I was not like following the team at that time. I just looked and, was just looking forward to see good games. But at that time, the telly was like big in the back, and, there was one every weekend, so you could not decide what. I actually also remember I saw a lot of the Ipswich games. They had a guy with no teeth in the mouth, and I was always a little bit, keen on watching him play. He was playing up front. He always put his head in, but it's also hurt a little bit, John. Not a luxury player like you.
I can't think who that would be. We played for Ipswich.
Ian Marshall or something?
Yeah.
Back then, that? John Watt, maybe?
Back in the 80s, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't. You're asking the wrong people. I don't think we were around then, Michael. You're not right.
No. But John, you were possibly not even born at that time.
No, I don't think I was. Michael, no.
Tell us about your career then in Denmark before you came to Bolton, because you spent 4 years at FC Copenhagen, a huge club in Denmark. What was it like playing football over there before you came to England?
It was good. Actually, I started my career as a senior playing for Copenhagen football, and then actually the year after I was brought with my twin brother to a team called B1903,
Mm-hmm.
And actually those two clubs joined together in '92 to become FC Copenhagen. So I actually played in both of the clubs within 2 years, and then they joined together compared to financial things, and then I had 3 good years before I joined Bolton Wanderers. So I think it was quite good, and at that time Copenhagen was not as big as it is now. It's a very, very big club now. Also, you can see in Europe. For the time being, they're struggling a little bit in the Champions League. They get beat at the moment, but they have a hard time.
My other big pal, Per Franson, obviously. When did you first come across Per as a footballer?
I think when I was around 10 years old. In Denmark, in the winter, it's very cold, so we played a lot of indoor football, so a lot of tournaments there. And Per was 2 years older than me, but we always played with the team I played in with teams who was 2 years older. So then we start playing against each other and become friends. So I knew him since I was 10 years old, and then he was sold to France, and I was playing in KB. So Per was away for 3 years, and then when he come back, he joined FC Copenhagen, and we played there for a couple of years, and then we were sold, both of us, to Bolton. So I know Per since I was 10, and been one of my very good friends from actually the childhood, I would say.
And you represent Per as well, don't you?
Yes, I do. I help Per. I just put him to Norway, and I will hope he can do something in Norway. Team is struggling, but I think Per will be the man. He's very good. So I hope Per will. He just took over when there were 5 games left, and now they have a very long break in Norway, so he will start the season in March. It's a long time, so they will be training now for 3 weeks. Then he will come back and have Christmas, and then he will go again, and then there will be another 3 months till they start playing again.
Oh, best of luck to him for next season then.
Yeah, I hope he will do well. I think he's an excellent coach, so yeah, I'm quite sure he will do that.
Yeah, he was a top guest when we had him on the podcast. Michael, see when you were a young boy, and of course Denmark won the Euros in '92. Can you remember back then what it was like in the country? Was it a very memorable time? Can you remember?
Yeah, it was crazy. We actually didn't qualify. It was only because of the war in Yugoslavia. So, I mean, you know, then Denmark was the second, the runner-up in that group, and then suddenly everyone was on holiday, and they couldn't go. So Denmark went, and many of them was on holiday. You know, so they were not doing any preseason, any training, and then it was just amazing that they could achieve that. But at that time, it was only 8 teams in the Europe Championship. So they were in a group, and they did quite well. Ended up second, and then we were already in the semi-final. So yeah, it was actually unbelievable what happened.
Yeah, it was something else. So talk to us about the move to Bolton then. How did that come about? Did you have a chance to go to England before you went to Bolton?
No, actually not. It was more Holland, Belgium, and countries like that. And it was always like a package. Like I said before, I had a twin brother, so it was always like a package. And in those days, we could have gone to PSV Eindhoven and Anderlecht and clubs like that, you know, quite big clubs. But we turned it down. The interest was most there when we were 18, 19 years old, and we didn't think we were. We actually went to sign a contract in PSV Eindhoven, but we decided when we came back. At this day, we didn't have an agent, so we just told our dad when we come back we didn't want to go, but we already signed the contract. That was a little bit crazy. So, and then we started playing for Copenhagen, which was also very, very good for us. You know, it was when you were a young kid, and we had some very good spells in Europe. One of the years we were with B1903, we reached the quarterfinal. So looking back, I think maybe that was the right decision at that time also.
See when you say you were going to go as a package,
yeah,
what was the reason behind that, Michael?
Because we always played together, and we played quite well together when we are like identical twins, you know, and played together since we were 4, so we could just almost in blind find each other, you know, the passes, and you know, it was just like a mix. But the problem was sometimes we were very, very small, and sometimes, you know, some of the teams, if we were playing away from home, they didn't need that much quality up front. So we also saw it like being a little bit disadvantaged to some of us. One of us would possibly be on the bench because they need more strength in the team, and so I think maybe it was good we didn't go together. But being with your twin brother for all those years, I was a little bit coming to Bolton when I was 23. I was like really missing my twin brother, to be quite honest.
And so you say, what changed your mindset then? I mean, was it the case that was never going to be an option, or was it a case that was a time to just kind of break free yourself?
Yeah, Copenhagen started up, and they were quite financially they were not so secure like they are now. It was like some new owners coming in, and actually the chairman just called me and said, you need to go, otherwise your teammates would not get any salary. We were struggling big time, and we got a big offer from England. So actually at that time I thought English football was like kick and rush, and I was a small player. I couldn't see myself really going, to be quite honest. I think we had a good team at Copenhagen, but of course it convinced me a little bit to go and see how it was, mainly also because the club got a very big offer, and I wanted to have my teammates in Copenhagen would survive and get salary still. So I went and met up with the board, with also very nice people at Bolton, and then it was like a no-brainer just to sign. And that was even before I met Super John. it would have been even more easy for me to sign if I met him before. But it was Colin Todd and some nice board members I signed the contract with.
It's quite rare. I mean, two twins playing football. I mean, only one other set is the De Boer brothers, of course, have moved to each other with different clubs and what have you. But did you have other family members that were footballers, Michael, at all? Was it?
No, we only have a sister. My dad used to play, but he was not really he only made it like to the 4th best league in Denmark, which is not a very high level in Denmark at that time. So I don't know where it was coming from, but we just loved to play football. I think my mom always told us, like, when we were 2, we were like kicking the ball around in the living room. So that's, yeah. I just remember I always loved to play football. So.
When it was agreed that both yourself and Per were going to join Bolton Wanderers, again, was that a package, or if one of you had maybe turned it down, did that mean that both of you would turn it down, or was it a guaranteed you were both going to come?
I think it was a guarantee that we came at the same time, and we decided to go. Per was on a different story in Copenhagen. I was like the captain, and I always played. Per was also playing, but he fought out a little bit with the manager, and he didn't have the things he achieved how good he was when he came to Bolton again, but he was struggling a little bit at Copenhagen. So what I remember was Per almost, he had a very high salary at Copenhagen. I think actually Bolton got him almost for free, and they paid quite a lot of money for me coming over. I remember you just got relegated the year before, and we should come and play in the championship with Bolton. So, but when we flew over, we were quite happy about 2 of us going anyway. I mean, if I couldn't get my twin brother, I would prefer to take Per. So that become very easy. So I actually think we have decided when we went to go for this one, unless we were meeting some very, very stupid people, but that was not the case. So it was quite easy.
And do you remember your first day when you walked into the dressing room?
Yeah, I remember. And you said, we bought a Smurf. And everyone started laughing. And then I remember on my very bad English, are the Smurf not blue in England? I don't care. Super Johnson said, you're the Smurf. And then I just got that nickname.
And it stuck with you. It stuck with you ever since.
Yeah, it does actually. Also, some people even in Denmark now call me Smurf. It's quite funny. I think it's quite cute to be a little Smurf.
So it's your fault, John, then.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
People till now I've become this fat Smurf now. It's a new name that's a fat Smurf.
What was that dressing room like then? To walk into some big characters in there, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it was quality. Always a good laugh, I don't think humour is so far away from the Danish, the Scandinavian humour, but I think the Danish people, we really liked it. We've become many Danish players coming to Bolton, and I like it from day one. It just got me in. I like the social life, always people like Super John. And I remember John he was one of the judges in a Miss Wet t-shirt at a place called Jungle when we just arrived. Remember that, Super John? You said, are you not coming down? There's like some things going on there. And then I was just surprised John was sitting with that one 6.8, and then you just find out you just need to be close to John. You were a legend here. So that was a different time, but I really enjoy everything. I actually think sometimes I should read a book. I remember everything like it was yesterday. Also, when I met up with Scott Sellers the other day, we can talk for hours how crazy and how good it was actually to be. It was a different time, but it was a very good time. I really sometimes miss, and I think I made a mistake when I went back to Denmark. It was financial thing instead of just staying. I think I would have another 4 great years, and if I've signed a new contract, but I rejected that and went for the money. So a mistake, but
no. When
that happened.
you signed, Michael, that final year at Burnden Park, it was a special year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was amazing. I never imagined it would be that great, and the way we played football also, I was a little bit afraid coming in, it's the old kick and rush and all things, and I just think we played brilliant football. Great teammates, dressing room, people around the club. It was just amazing. And I mean, like, what could you do? What did we achieve? Was it like 100 goals, 98 points or something at that time? I remember at that time it was the record or something like that, for people getting promoted to the Premier League. And I just, enjoyed, but I also enjoyed the other years. But of course, it was better winning all the time. It also makes you a little bit more happy.
Yeah. What was Burnden like, Michael, compared to we're sitting looking out on the turf sheet just now? But what was it like playing at the two stadiums?
I think it was good to be a part of that one. I really liked the atmosphere at Burnden Park. I think the crowd was very close. There was a very good atmosphere, and it was like all kind of people coming. And one of the with the fans behind the goal, you really feel you were at home. And I think Burnden Park was like a very difficult place for other teams to come and play. So I enjoyed that, and then I think it changed a little bit. I also liked Reebok when it was built, but it was just different kind of atmosphere, but also quite nice because we were promoted and played to go to the Premier League. So a full house every week was, also quite good, but different. But I think it's nice to be part of both stadiums. How lucky can you be? But we knew when we came that they were already getting the Reebok ready for the year after. So when we signed, we were out to see there was only the pitch on this way, and then the stadium will be ready the year after, which it was. So quite good.
Yeah.
Well, I think what makes it special, Michael, is there's only a small band of players that actually played in both stadiums, as a Bolton Wanderers player. So, to be part of that is special on its own.
Yeah, it was like, that's what I also said, it's quite lucky for us to just join there. I mean, it's history to be part of, something old and also the new things coming. So, I think it was, and then the season when you say goodbye to a stadium, been there for so many years with history and everything, and then we just turn out having that kind of a season. I mean, that was quite amazing to be part of.
What was the secret that season, the 96-97 season, Michael? Why did you do so well, do you think?
I think it was a combination of both. I think they had good players when they got relegated, because at all days the Premier League had been quite soft, but they were getting relegated, and they kept, many of the players, and then bought a few other players like me and Per, and then I just think the way Colin made the team play, we played our own style, and wherever we played, we just played 4-4-2, and I just think we had so many good players in the team, and I think the way Colin put it up was also quite good. Every player knew what they have to do, and I was quite surprised when I came from Copenhagen that the quality was that good.
Yeah,
I must imagine, because I think I was playing with good players in Copenhagen, at the age of 23. But I mean, when I came to Bolton, it was like 3 in my position. You have to play well all the time, otherwise another one will just take your place.
Interesting. What was Colin Todd like then? Did you enjoy playing for him?
Yeah, it was a little bit both way for me, actually. He bought me, and I came in, had a very good season. And I think he was good. He learned me a lot of things. I was not used to tackle, and I was used to do which Don didn't like, go past my defender more time instead of crossing the ball so Super John could score. And then he told me after a few games that I need to cross the ball, which also shocked me a little bit when he was just running in the middle of the game at Burnden Park and just put that ball in the box. I was a little bit, what? So I learned something like that, and Colin warned us to be like on the wing, you need to have almost be on the line. which I also wanted to be have an impact on the game. But then I learned to play that way, and he was also okay sometimes that we could go inside, which I was used to when I come from Copenhagen. But I learned a lot, and I think Colin was okay. The year after, he bought another player in my position, which was a little bit shocking for me when I came back. But that's how football is, the competition. I remember it was player, this Jamie Pollock or whatever his name was. I don't know. He was possibly a good player, but he took my place, and I came back after a nice summer with the promotion and everything, and I got shirt number 12. So at that time, I was a little bit surprised what Colin had done, but the good thing is it was just time to fight back, and I also achieved to come back to the team, which was quite good. So I would say Colin has been good. I also had Colin taking him to Denmark 2 times to be a coach in runners, and he's done very well. So I would think it was a very good coach. He learned me a lot, but I also have I think he was quite hard to me when I wasn't playing. I remember he wants to buy some new players, and I was running a lot. One of the preseason, we bought Ida with Johansen. Yeah. I remember when we had run, I thought he was making a joke when he just said I have to run extra with Ida because he was coming with a broken leg and he needs to do some rehab. And we'd just been running for 2 hours, and he just said, "Oh, Smurf, you're just staying another hour." I thought he was actually, at that time it's quite soft, but I learned something from that, and I think it actually only made me stronger. But I think it was a little tough way to say that, I should not stay. He bought some other players for that position, but that's also football. But I dealt with that in my own way. So when you're just asking about Colin Todd, I would say it's a little bit both way, but yeah.
A test of character for you, Michael. That's for sure.
Yeah, I remember when we drew back. Me and Purple, we left the same places, houses next to each other almost, and I think it was good. I had Per there driving back from those kind of sessions when you've been running for 3 hours, and everyone was exhausted, and I ran another hour. I think, but that helped me a lot with Per's supporting me on that one. So I think he just made me stronger. I think he tried to break me, but I think it was also a lesson for my career. I always used to be, top priority, in the club, playing senior football when I was 17 and straight into the team. So it also learned me another side of the things, and so yeah.
Was it a big step up from the old First Division to the Premier League, Michael? Did you notice a big jump?
Yeah, that was a big jump. You play with the best players in the whole world. I know at that time we couldn't buy the best players. We bought good players at Bolton, but I mean Chelsea, Man United, they bought all the big players at that time when we played. So the competition was of course quite high, but I think you get used to it. I think if you're a good player and you start playing with better players, you become a better player yourself. And if you are clever, you use your time to just cope with the things and try to be the best part of you. So I think it was tough, but it didn't do anything like I couldn't cope with. I think just become a better player.
Who was the top players that you came up against that you thought, oh, this boy's really good? Was there any opponents that were really something else?
I think at that time, I remember Wood Gullit was coming with Chelsea team, and Ginola played was then I think those kind of players was quite. And then you have the Neville brothers, the Beckham, at United when they came, and I just remember actually we always did quite well against them anyway. Mm-hmm. Even at the Reebok, I can't really remember the results, but we didn't get murdered when we played at Old Trafford and so on. But of course there were big players at that time. Peter Schmeichel was also at the goal, another Danish, very very famous and great goalkeeper at that time. So I think there was many good players.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, some key moments when you were at Bolton. You scored a fantastic goal. Didn't score many, but scored a great goal against Ipswich Town. Can you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that one. I think it was in the playoff, wasn't it?
Yeah.
At the Reebok, I remember I chipped it to Bob Taylor, and he just put it back, and I just had a volley in the corner, and I remember it was quite a good goal, but I scored so many good goals at that time, so this was just one of them.
Every goal you scored was a good one, Michael. You never scored bad goals.
Exactly. No. I remember I missed the penalty at Wembley, by the way.
There's a big disappointment, of course, at the FA Cup semi-final. Is that something that you regret? I mean, the club lost it on penalties in 2000. Was that a what might have been moment there?
Yeah, that was a big disappointment, actually, that we lost that one. We also the year before lost the final to Watford at Wembley also. So, I mean, Wembley was not my place, or not at that time. Some years after, Per went up with the promotion, winning at Wembley. So, but I never achieved anything there. I missed the penalty, actually. Remember when we played Aston Villa in the semi-final?
Yeah. Which
was awesome. Yeah. But they have to remember me for something. So I think some Bolton supporters remember that.
That was the game, Michael. It was Dean Holdsworth, wasn't it, that missed the chance?
Yeah.
Open
he missed
goal
a big chance.
14 yards. I remember that one.
So that's also what people should remember, not my penalty.
No, I'd forgotten you'd missed a penalty.
Yeah, but I don't actually. I remember my wife was crying in the lounge when we came up.
Oh dear.
She was so she was actually more sad than I was, but things happen.
That's football.
Yeah, that certainly is football. Talk to us about when you were at Bolton as well. That's where you got called up to the Danish national team, wasn't it, Michael, for the first time? Was it just after you left? You got 2 caps, of course. Did you get any call-ups before then? Maybe Euro 96 or anything like that? Were you near about the squad?
No. I was just around the squad, but I never went. At that time, only Per went back for the national duty. I played in '92 in the Olympic
Barcelona.
Also with Per. Yeah, we played at Barcelona there. Got murdered 3 games, and then we have to go back again. But I was there, I would say. And then I was called up a few times, actually many times, but I only achieved to get 2. I was the warm-up player. I really warmed up a lot of times for Denmark, which I knew the crowd running out on the line, so it was it was also some times.
And there's some top players back then, Denmark, right enough. So it wouldn't have been easy to get in that team. And you mentioned earlier on you sort of regret leaving Bolton the time you did. Looking back, you wish you maybe stayed on.
Yeah, I should have done. I should have stayed on. You know, it changed a little bit. Same. Allardyce came in and he changed some things, and we were coming from a position like below the middle, and then suddenly we were in the playoff. You know, so even in the beginning, I didn't like his style of football. It was with the long throw-ins, and like set pieces was like his main priority. And I remember I was playing with Johansen, also my former Danish teammates, and we always went to the cinema to do all the things when we played the game. And I remember I had a few fallouts with Sam, the way he wants to play, but I have to give him the credit. He turned it around, and then suddenly we were in the playoff, and I actually think we got cheated in Ipswich when they were awarded 2 penalties and another dodgy goal, and we got beat 4-3 away. And I think a draw would have made us to the final. So that was, But at that time, I signed a contract in January, pre-signing with the Danish team. So, it was what it was. But looking back, I think Sam changed it around, and I would definitely also would have been a part of playing with him. But we fall down a little bit in the beginning, and then actually I really liked him and the way he looked at the things. So that was a shame, but I have signed already at that time. So, and then I came back to Denmark and got 3 operations in my knee. So the 4 years I was there was a little bit disappointed.
Yeah, you meant just harping back that Ipswich game you mentioned there. That was at the old Barry Knight game, wasn't it? You must have been furious at how that unfolded down there, Michael.
Yeah, it became my last game, so I remember it clearly, and I was like, yeah. I remember Sam said something and got a big fine about the referee was paid at a petrol station or something down there. But yeah, for every one of us, it was like, we came from nothing that season and then suddenly achieved and played good football. And I think we were a better team than Ipswich, and we should have won that game. Mm-hmm. And then I would have been quite sure we could also have won the final. Even I always played at Wembley, never won there. Played there 4 times, but never mind.
What was your feelings on Sam? Did you think he could? I mean, he achieved so much success at Bolton, but back then, could you see the sort of early signs that he would go on and do well?
No, not really. He came with some strange things, with like nobody's bigger than the team, and all the things, and came with some analyze and all that. And that time, it was like. It was not that known that you do things like that. So he changed it, but I could see for some players it was very good with all that signs and all that. But to start with, I couldn't see it. But over time, like I still have the 5 months with him, and I think I could see some points what him and his staff was doing. And I think So in the end, I could see, but in the beginning, no. I only think he was coming. Was it from Notts County or something like that? It's all kick and rush and long throw-ins and use hours for set pieces and all that. I was not really that type, I just thought we should play the old Bolton style and that. But he came with some new stuff and football just changed, then. So I think yes, he become being very good, and I admire what he'd done. And also when I was leaving, I was a lot at Bolton, and when I become an agent, I lived in Manchester for 8 months, and I always went out to the training ground. I was always welcome with Sam and Phil Brown, and look how he did it and all that, and achieved very good players coming in. And so I must say Sam did a very good job. I was very impressed with his time at Bolton. I actually think, we were on a good level when I played there, but I just think he took it to another level when he just took over, and he just maximized everything to become a good team, and they were just a solid team and a good team for years in the Premier League. Very difficult to beat. So he did it his way, and yeah.
Do you think, Michael, I mean, looking at that time when you said you couldn't really see it, but when you look back now, he was probably ahead of his time?
Yeah, he was. He was there. That's what I said when I come back. I could just see he'd keep, being on top of everything, when he did things, it started coming to Denmark 3 years after, something like that. When I was still playing, suddenly the same people came in, but he was 3 years ahead of Denmark and possibly 1 year ahead of everyone in England. So I think he was just, he was good, clever, and he employed the right people and took it to another. And he still also had the old style, where you have to the social thing. He was also like a player himself, so he also made sure that we had the social things and the golf things and the get together things. So I think he just grown me. He become a very good coach. I would say manager.
And like you said, when you looked at it, when you made that decision to leave, I'm sure you looked at the team in the next couple of years when they started to sign Okocha, Yorkie and all these guys, and you thought, wow, I could have been playing alongside them.
Yeah, exactly. I just think he just achieved to get this kind of players also into Bolton, because we were not the first people would pick was not Bolton Wanderers. But then suddenly he become taking Hero and players like that. I just remember, wow, they at Bolton, how is that coming up? And I think they play good football also. I know he always care about, he always want the right back to have long throw-ins and so on. But that's also part of football.
Yeah.
But I think the way that they played, it was quite good. I remember watching a lot of games in the Premier League, also because my good friend Per still played there, and Henrik Petersen came. When I become an agent, he was also in the company. So I also come and watch a lot of games there, and I would just say he did a very good job and took Bolton to to another level, even higher than when we played or when I played there.
Yeah, I guess you had some good nights out when you were at Bolton then, Michael. You mentioned that the social side of things, I guess a few legendary nights out.
Yeah, we had some good times. I was surprised, but the man right to you was the big chef on that one. He made sure we went out every weekend and sometimes also on the Tuesday. He was possibly the most crazy guy I ever played with in my life. What's up, John? I remember.
You've got to take this with a pinch of salt, Derek, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I just remember also when we went out and the nightclub was closing, John could knock on some doors and then suddenly we were in another place having a new drink. Remember that one, John, or can you not remember that?
I'm not so sure, Michael.
No, I would say, and always when you had family, you know, I think John and many of the other main players in the team was always good to look after. You know, you could always take them out, and when we have like family things, they always think about. They were always welcome to go out. I don't see you don't see that many places.
No.
I would say if you speak with other players, you know, former players when they played in France or whatever they played, even in other English clubs, you know, it was just good days and everyone was welcome. It was a very family and friendly club, I would say. So all the family and friends I have over, they always remember the time coming to Bolton. Even it's not the biggest town, and it's not like, but you could always go out and have a nice, you know, night out with everyone. Also, when you're not going with the players. So yeah, that was it's a good time and a good town, I think.
Do you get back much? Do you ever get back to Bolton much, Michael? When was the last time you visited?
Actually, I think it was 1.5 years ago when I visited my good friend John. I took my son, my brother's 2 sons to visit John at Bolton because we went to see Copenhagen play against Man City in the Champions League. So we took a break there, and then we came to. I think it was the day after we come in and see how Bolton was doing, just to show my brother's sons, you know, that we were not lying that much, and we had a good tour around with Super John. So how much can you ask for? And then I was back with we had the 25 years with Bolton, where I also came and joined. So I really like coming back and see all our good teammates at that time. So if I have the possibility, I do. And if I'm coming to UK, I would always go around to visit, and especially my good friend Super John. What a legend.
We had Michael over. Michael came over for the 25th anniversary of the 97 league winning team.
Oh yeah.
So we had the do in the Premier Suite, which was really good. In fact, Toddy came. We had most of the players there, didn't we?
Yeah, it was. It's good to see them all again, and
really
yeah, so that was good. So when the opportunity is, I would definitely. I always go around. I had a very good time and always follow Bolton Wanderers, see how they are in the league, and also got very sad when we lost in the playoff last year.
Yeah,
I think Bolton should be a championship club, and I'm just, happy to see we're doing well, and after some tough years, we are back now, and the last few years we've been in the top of League One, and hopefully we can get the promotion. So for me, it's only one team in England, and that's Bolton Wanderers, and I will support Bolton for the rest of my life. That's how it is.
Have you managed to see us play, Michael? I know you can pick up different stations, etc. on the television. Have you seen us play at all this season?
Yes, I've seen one game this season. That was a home game where we actually, I think it was a draw 1-1, but I think that the team played decent football. Mm-hmm. I just think it's become, also the opponent are quite good in the League One. I just think it's a tough league to compete in. But I'm mainly working in the weekend watching my own players. So it's only when the time is coming up I can see it. So I also remember when I went there, when we, the next day went to around with you in the lounges, John, to watch one game. I also think it was a good game and a good atmosphere, and I could see some of the Bolton supporters are coming back. It's coming a little bit more than when we were struggling, or Bolton was struggling a little bit now. I think some good days in front of Bolton Wanderers.
I think you'd be impressed, Michael. I think we're playing good stuff this year. We're certainly in the mix for promotion. I would say we're one of the favourites for promotion. If we keep things going the way we are at this moment in time, we're going to be right in there.
Yeah, they should just buy some Danish players from me, then they will be 100% sure going on.
Well, we've got decent wingers now. We haven't had that for a long time.
No. Are there good wingers now, John?
We've got some good ones here. Yeah, playing with good width.
4-4-2 as well, eh?
Playing with good width, really maximising the size of the pitch and getting at people and scoring, creating goals from wide areas. It's good at the minute.
Hopefully it would be a year where we get promoted to the Championship where Bolton Wanderers belong.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Well, Michael, it's been absolutely brilliant having you on. Thank you very much for giving up your time to have a chat with me and John.
It was a pleasure, and especially Super John. I really miss Super John. He's a legend, isn't it, Terry?
Yes, absolutely.
I miss you too, pal. No worries. But no, thank you, Michael. Thanks for giving up your time and coming on to speak to us. And you know you're always welcome here. When I took you around the lounges that day, you're one of the most popular guys that's been in the stadium. You know what I mean? They love you here. You know that. So you're more than welcome anytime.
Yes, I will definitely come back when the time is up. I will come and say hello to everyone. And they always take care of me, like when I'm coming. I always surprise that. You know, I only played there for 4 years, so I'm also very happy. I really warmed my heart to see how people, remember old faces and appreciate what you've done.
Brilliant, Michael. Top man.
Wanderers Way, the official podcast of Bolton Wanderers Football Club in association with iHeat.